Good. Ray, good morning. ఎవరిది ఉస్మా
సార్
చిన్నగా
అన్మ్యూట్
మాట్లాడితే
సార్.
పక్కన ఎవరు ఉస్మానేనా?
హలో సార్.
ఏంట్రా? కాదు వీడిక్కడ నువ్వు ఇక్కడ అనేసి కానీ రూమ్కి వెళ్ళి
సార్
ఫోన్
వీరేష్
చేస్తా
సార్.
అన్నావు.
వీరేష్ సార్.
చిన్నగా వినిపిస్తుందా? లేదు ఖాళీలో ఉన్నా. ఎస్ వచ్చాను ఊరిని. Okay. So I hope my voice and video is visible to everyone. So good morning, everyone. So I'm introduce myself. I'm B. Viresh, working as assistant professor in the Department of Civil Engineering at the Madanapalli Institute of Technology and Science, deemed to be university. Okay, I am warmly welcome you all for today's last session of this FTP program. So today, a speaker notice. I am very pleased to introduce about the speaker. So that is Sudeep Abhanath, a research hydrologist at Wellness of Bangalore. So Dr. Bhanath completed his PhD jointly from IIT Delhi and the University of Queensland. Mainly, his research work is focused on eco-hydrology and flowmetric for aquatic ecosystem restoration. So his expertise in remote sensing, geospatial data analysis, and sustainable water resource management. And his work emphasizes the use of open source platforms and remote sensing data to develop actionable indicators for sustainable water management. Today, he will share his insights of open source like geospatial data to develop a water security indicators and support a resilient infrastructure planning. So I'm warmly welcome you, Dr. Sudeep Banath, sir, for the section. I'm hand over to you. So all the participants are eagerly waiting for your session. So it is very useful to everyone. So how we are going to use these open source platforms for their research work and academic growth. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Am I audible?
Good morning, sir. The section is you.
Good morning. Am I audible? Yeah. Can you hear
so
me?
So voice is not audible, sir.
Oh.
You cannot hear.
Sir, your voice is audible, sir.
Okay, sure. Okay. So now can everyone hear me? So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Viresh, for that introduction. And I think like I'm just starting my career and I just recently defended my thesis. So that's a good start. So I'll just share my screen and start my session. So what I plan is initial 1 hour or 1.5 hours. I'll talk about what we are doing right now at Well Labs, and if at all you want to be involved or if you want to help us, you can let us know. And then maybe give a brief introduction to Google Earth Engine. So I feel everyone right now, especially with the civil engineering faculty here, you would love to work on hydrological issues, right? Even land use, land class classifications. So for that, the most important thing is getting data. So I like to tell about where you can get data and just a very minute introduction about Google Earth Engine, because I feel I don't know where all of you are standing. If at all this was a standalone session for Google Earth Engine, we could know where they are standing, and based on that we could proceed. Okay, if you are beginners, we are like expertise, or if you are already using the Google Earth Engine. So I will keep it very minimum. I hope few of you at least have registered to Google Earth Engine account and they can start using the Google Earth Engine. So we can start that maybe at the later end of our session. So I'll just present on screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. Screen is visible, sir.
Okay. So from the past 1 year, we at Well Labs are working on something called as Water Index for Sustainability, Equity and Resilience. And we like to call it as WISER indicators. So we are working on water security indicators across India. And what is the need for that and why we are doing that? So that will be my session, like initial 1 hour I'd like to take that. And this project was funded by Hindustan Unilever Foundation. So give a brief introduction about Well Labs. So Well Labs is water, environment, land and livelihood labs. So like we call it Well Labs, and it's a research and innovation center. It's part of Korea University and IFMR group. And we sort of design and curate systemic science-based solutions, which are practical. Like sometimes the limitations of academia, I understand you have certain limitations and your main focus is on research. But here we slightly shift towards like, are those solutions practically applicable on the ground? So we have 4 verticals in Well Labs. So one is the rural futures. So here, part of our team members, they actually live along with the farmers. So we work in Devdurga and Raichur and few other places. But in Devdurga, we have a field station. So they work with the farmers to give them practical solution. And you can explore our website, like go to Well Labs, and you can see what is the work we are doing basically. And then there's a team, urban water team. They mostly work on the urban floods, and specifically in Bangalore, they work a lot on Bangalore. So they work on urban floods, nature-based solutions, and all those things. And then there is technical consulting, which I'm part of. So we sort of help across all teams and also multiple organizations. So we sort of help in consulting, and like this WISA project, we come up with frameworks and indicators to help water security indicators. And then there is platform and partnership, which is slightly towards the rural livelihood thing. And then there is future research. So they also work on a lot of climate data and like what will be the future pathways, but specifically related to the agriculture, and they work along with the farmers. Anyone, have you heard about Well Labs, or like, do you know what we do, or do you have any questions? And I sort of want this session to be slightly interactive, otherwise it will be very boring that I keep on just showing you slides and what we are doing. Sure. So all of you are mostly faculty from Andhra, or like are they faculty from different states in the participants?
Some people
there
are
are
from
faculty
different
from
states.
different states.
Different states, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
sure. So we also, the only question I'm is like right now we are based in Bangalore, but we also work in Delhi, and a couple of we have partnership with JJ and Masa. So if anyone wants to get involved, please let us know. So specifically coming to today's session, and what is water security indicators? So India has a water problem, as you all know, and recently you might be hearing the news about the floods in Punjab, the floods in Himachal, and every year that's sort of a recurring issue. And during the rainy season, we have the problem of too much water, but come the summer, we have a problem of too little water, and we face droughts in a lot of part of Marathwada, like even slightly parts of Telangana and Maharashtra, northern part of Karnataka, like be it Rajasthan and North India also. And along with too much water, too little water, we have a problem of too polluted water. So right from our ambient water, our lakes, rivers, the water quality is really bad. If you look at the Yamuna, the major issue in Delhi is they're like talking about rejuvenation of Yamuna because the water quality is really bad. So, but the government is definitely working on this issue, and they spend a lot of money on these issues. So why we wanted to come up with this indicator when I started is, so our whole point was there is no specific indicator or framework which measures all the aspects of water. Let's say I'm sitting right now in Vellore, Tamil Nadu, but I'm from Karnataka, Dharwad, and I want to go to a website and see how my city is doing, how my village is doing in water aspect. So when I say water, I want all the aspects. So when you look at a report card of like a school report card or an engineering report card, you know how they are doing in all subjects. They have English, they have the like basic language subjects, English, like whatever Telugu, Kannada, Hindi, and then they have science, the social studies, history, and maths. So just looking at this scorecard, you know, okay, they're weak in this, they're good in this, good in maths, or bad in maths. So there is no such thing as a water card for like a scorecard for water at village level for entire India. So our whole idea was, can we come up with a framework to develop scorecard for the villages? So, and coming back to like to address those problems, as you all know, we spend a lot of money. Like every other day we inaugurate some of the new projects. There are a lot of people involved, a lot of money involved. But are we really solving problem if so much money is involved just by the government? So one thing is government puts in a lot of money. Then there are private players who put in a lot of money. Then there is philanthropies who also put in a lot of money. But heard of people who put money to regenerate lakes and all. If everyone is doing so, are we heading in the right direction? So first of all, are we putting our efforts in the right direction? How do you know that? So that was our question when we started this project. Can we come up with specific indicators to know are we putting our efforts in the right direction? So as you know, everybody agrees indicators are important. As I told, how do you know, let's say you want to lose weight, how do you know you are after 6 days, you are whatever you're doing correctly? You need to measure your weight regularly. Then you know, okay, either my weight is decreasing or either my weight is increasing. And based on that, you also measure the or note down the things you're doing in those 7 days. Reduce the amount of calories you're eating, reduce the amount of sweets or maybe like fried stuff you're eating. So like that, we need indicators to measure our health. And similarly, we need indicators to measure. And what gets measured gets managed. So when you know, okay, because I'm having less calories, my weight is reducing, you know, okay, I need to take certain amount of calories like that. So when it comes to water also, you should know what to measure. So what is the current trend? Like, is the groundwater increasing or decreasing? Is the surface water sources increasing or decreasing? Is the balance is an issue? Like, what is the amount of water we have? Is that an issue? And what should we be solving for? Let's say once we know, okay, this is a problem, then we know, okay, we should work on this. Groundwater is not the issue. The surface water or the source is very far for this city. So identifying those problems become very important. And indicators sort of help us in identifying those problems. And how do we know that we have moved the needle? So this is a very important point. So when I tell that, yeah, when I tell like government Manrega 86,000 crores, Jal Jeevan Mission 70,000 crores to give like domestic drinking water quality to everyone, piped water source to everyone. So when we are putting this much money, is putting the money everything, or we should know we're putting your money in the right thing, and we know we have changed. Like say before putting this amount of money, these many households were, let's say in Andhra or Telangana, like 80% households had tap drinking water connection. After this mission, from 80% it became 95% or something. So we should know what we are measuring, and by that, and there is interest at highest levels. So as you know, of like our Prime Minister, he believes in metrics for reforms and he's in compliance of burden. So he's told everything should be measured, because once you try to measure, it becomes easy to know, okay, what should we work on? And right from the top, he specifically mentioned like there should be metrics for each of every reform what the government does. So I think all of you are civil faculty. So what sort of problems do you face in your areas? Can any one of you tell? How like I guess you can take 5-10 minutes. If you can introduce yourself and tell, okay, this is a problem in my area. This is a water problem in my area. Otherwise, I'll start like taking names. Okay, like this becomes sort of a reverse. You probably ask your students, and here, like I don't want to ask you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, here, Veeresh.
Okay, yeah, Veeresh.
Yes, sir. As you know of Andhra Pradesh, especially about Anantapur region.
Okay.
So these areas severely affected by the fluoride content, sir.
Okay.
As we take a part of Anantapur, so Anantapur district area, mainly 3 revenue divisions like Kadiri, Mudigubba, and some areas are heavily affected by the fluoride content.
Okay. So
sir, tell me, sir.
Yeah, continue. Sorry.
No, actually, my research was carry on what is the causes of causing this much of high amount of fluoride content may increase in the groundwater level. Okay, sure. So as you told, I want to go one level above. You specifically told, okay, this fluoride content is a problem. So I want to say water quality is the issue. If we go one level above, yeah. So in Anantapur, Andhra, water quality is the issue. Anywhere, anyone else?
Sir, I have one thing, sir. Actually,
Yeah.
many audience are putting that your voice is breaking, sir. Just
Okay.
one time you
Sure.
check your one.
Okay. Sure. 1 second. Sorry. Like now, is it better?
For audience, it is open. Now, if anyone want to discuss, you can unmute and you can discuss with sir.
And you can stop. Okay. Sorry. Voice is breaking. Voice is not clear. Now is it better? The voice?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sure. Otherwise, I don't want to turn my camera off. This. Okay. Just give me a second. I'll just try to see my Wi-Fi.
Yes, sir. So as we discussed, this is the interaction session. I unmuted everyone. If you want to discuss with sir, just unmute yourself and discuss with sir.
Sure. And like, please call me Sudeep. Okay. I think a lot of you will be senior than me. Is my voice clear right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it better? Sorry, who told Shiv Kumar Babu Karkada? Like, is my voice better?
Now somewhat better, sir.
Okay.
I'm Dr. Anand Babu from Sedu Institute of Technology,
Yes, sure.
Professor Civil Department.
Yes, sir.
And then here we are having waterlogging only. There is not having separate severity index in this area. I'm
Sir,
from
you are
Madurai.
Madurai, okay,
Madurai,
Tamil
Tamil
Nadu.
Nadu. Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you say water logging, sir, what is the, like, is it flooding?
Nearby, it's not a flooding. Maybe during rainy season, water will be stagnant nearby the houses.
Okay, so in urban context, you are telling there is stagnation of water. There is no proper drainage of water.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
But
sure.
in this condition, how the way we will have to handle the structure stability and the structure monitoring system like.
Sure. So that's slightly a drainage issue, if I want to specifically answer that question. But as, sorry, I forgot the name, Viresh was telling. So water quality is one issue.
Oh,
So like that.
I'm Dr. Anand Babu.
Yes,
Anand
sir.
Babu from
Yeah,
Sedu
Dr.
Institute of
Anand.
Technology.
Yes, sir. You told like water stagnation might be issue. So drainage is the problem in Madurai. So anyone else want to take a shot?
Not all the area. Some of the places will be there, sir. So these are the problems we are facing.
Yes, sir. I
Some of
understand.
the places.
Sure, sir. Anyone else?
So this is Sridhar, research scholar from Andhra University.
Yeah.
Before this, I have worked as associate scientist in MSSRF at the Telangana location. The exact districts are Narayanpet and Vikarabad.
Okay.
I think it's related to water. This problem is related to water, I think so. I observed erosion in Vikarabad and salt affected area of agriculture lands, salt affected area in Narayanpet. Because of water only that were happened.
So
Of,
EC, basically high electric conductivity. So you see white patches. That's what you're telling?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sure. So again, water quality is the issue. So I want to say, are there any other issue? So water quality is one aspect. Anywhere where there is no water, or like let's say there is no water balance is issue. Any other region where you're telling, okay, sir, during monsoon we are not getting enough water.
I observed heavy flow of water in monsoons, like at the time of rains.
Okay. And what about during summer? Will they have enough water for the rabi cropping?
Generally, in salt affected area, that much crop growing is not possible, no, sir.
Okay. So it's just a rain-fed area.
Yeah, rain. Yes, sir.
Okay, sure. And anyone else?
Most of the area, 90% of area I have observed, and I directly visited to the ground verification.
Okay.
First of we worked under the NIRD project. It's water security and climate adaptation.
Okay.
In that process, I have observed that issue at that places.
Okay, sure. Thank you. So again, my point is like it is coming into water quality issue. If I want to put it in brackets of what all issues you are telling. So the problem told by Viresh and you comes into water quality, and problem told by Anand Babu sir comes into maybe like flooding. I don't want to call it flooding. Maybe like not proper drainage. So anyone else like any other issues in water? I don't think so. Only this is the issue. Anyone else facing any other issue, or you can tell or if you're working with any other hydrological projects, because I see there are like 80 people, 80 professors.
Hello.
Yeah.
This is Shiv Kumar.
Okay.
I have a small query.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm from Vijayawada.
Yes.
In Vijayawada, generally, it is having a good water sources. Groundwater is hardly about 50 to 60 feet. We are getting good water.
Okay.
But problem is we are in that groundwater. We are having tremendous TDS and turbidity.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we want to use the softener for household purpose, especially for domestic purpose. So what may be the root cause for that one, as per your knowledge?
Like just from the outset, we need to check. So like maybe high salinity, as like another person was telling. Like,
okay.
May the reason. I need to exactly check Vijayawada and nearby places. Like, is there high amount of like any particular element? So just to answer your specific question, you want to see what is the problem, go to CGWB website, Center for Groundwater Board, and they have state level, what is the water quality points in your places. So maybe I can share at the end of my presentation. So you get to know, okay, if nearby Vijayawada, I don't know the exact point you are asking, but nearby they have like a couple of groundwater points and they have all the pH, EC, nitrite levels. And maybe by that we are able to pinpoint and exactly answer your question. So right now I understand it's a water quality issue, but maybe I can give an exact answer with at least a couple of analysis. Sure. I don't want to pinpoint like this is the reason. Sure.
Okay.
Sure. So my whole point is like again it's a water quality issue. Anyone else like facing any other issue or the region where you come from? Are the farmers able to do cropping in both the seasons, or they do only single kharif cropping? Rupali Priyadarshini. I guess anyone. Yeah, hello. I guess someone is unmuted yet. I'm hearing some feedback from someone. But anyone else want to take a shot at it? This is more of like what sort of problems the farmers face in your areas along with water. So when we say water, everyone looks at it from their point of view. Like the people who are living in cities, they mostly concerned with domestic water. They want like proper drinking water, as sir mentioned. Like I don't want TDS or like I don't want to use softeners for my water. But when we go to a farmer or an agricultural perspective, they want access to irrigation. So everyone looks at water differently. So I just wanted anyone else other perspective.
Sir, I have one more perspective. Basically, in Godavari region, there is a lot of pisciculture which is happening now instead of agriculture, aquaculture and pisciculture. So because of that, there is some kind of quality differences in water, and even to get a good quality of drinking water, we need to go for more depth for the groundwater.
Okay.
Even at 40 meters or 30 meters also we have water, but that is not even suitable for drinking because it is polluted because of this pisciculture and aquaculture. So how do you look at this?
Okay, so that's one problem. But what you told is like aquaculture, the idea sounds really good. The government might have put in a lot of money in promoting aquaculture. But let's say they start exploring the water or they start polluting. As you told, the issue might be, okay, the drinking water gets affected. So my whole point I want to make is like, when you look at water security, or one person was telling me he has worked on water security, you have to look at multiple dimensions. There is no single, okay, I just want to increase the water quality, everything else goes like this. So let's say as someone is telling hard water is a problem, and let's say I set up a plant which uses a lot of water to just purify water, RO plant or something like that. And then after 5-10 years, the water access becomes a problem. You are telling, okay, earlier 10 years ago, my groundwater level was this, but once the plant is set up, my groundwater level suddenly decreases. So the solutions should be sustainable. You cannot provide solutions just looking at one particular dimension and it is getting affected. So I'll show you a couple of results and what we did. So how we came up with that. But so I hope you can still see my slides, but historically the focus was mostly on monitoring and evaluation. So let's say a site or a irrigation project is built. So we just want to monitor that project and we want to see what is the impact of that project. Rather than before making that project, we rarely check, okay, is it impacting as one of the problems I just told, like if you provide a big RO plant or something to like reduce the water quality, it might cause problem in the water quantity in the future. So, okay. So coming to the health analogy, like in health sector, I guess a lot of you regularly take up or yearly do your health checkup, right? Like you get your blood levels, you get your ECG done, and then based on that, you send your report to a doctor. Doctor looks at that report. You're like, okay, sir, your blood levels are up. You need to slightly do more walking. Your sugar levels are up, so you need to take care of like you are in the prebiotic level, diabetic level, and like this. So similarly, there is no something for water in the holistically. As sir was telling, he's in Madurai, one guy is from Vijayawada, like another guy in Godavari district. So can we come up with the framework which can be applied everywhere? As you know, India is a diverse country, but when we talk about hydrology, a lot of things comes into picture. It's more about what is the land use class, what is the elevation looking like, what is the slope, and what is the rainfall pattern, and what is the storage, what is the groundwater, the lithology, the geography comes into picture. So before that, can we do a health checkup for the watershed? That's where the idea came about that we should do something like this. So imagine in the water sector, whenever, be it a government, be it a private entity, or be it an academician, you are investing something or you're putting huge amount of money. When I tell, I just showed you the money, they're like 70,000 crores, 80,000 crores. So are the check dams, let's say we're building a check dam, effective in raising the groundwater levels? Let's say in some areas, there is very less groundwater level, or earlier the groundwater level used to be really good, but now in the last 10 years, they have suddenly decreased. So someone tells, okay, let's build a check dam and the water seeps in, and that will help the groundwater level. But the data suggests the groundwater levels are declining, NGO tells, but is it a good way? And is it a sustainable way like that? That's what we want to check. And based on that, as I told, so we check the cholesterol, blood pressure, liver, and all. And if something is above, we tell, okay, this is above. So like that, for water, what all things we should check? For humans, we know, okay, we should check the cholesterol, we should check the blood pressure, the BPs and all. So for water, are there any specific indicators which we can measure every year? Let's say for Godavari region, this we measure every year, and after 5 years, we know, okay, this is increasing, this is positive, the access is positive, the water quality is good, the resilience is good, like that. So what is the equivalent of like that for a watershed? So can we do every year, okay, groundwater levels are declining, the water quality is okay, normal, the water efficiency, the water irrigation capacity is like borderline, okay, something like this. So finally, not asking how healthy is this watershed or what's the problem. Basically, we need to treat the problem. So there are, sorry, Bendy Sridhar, yeah, please. Yeah,
Yes,
please.
sir. Uh, yes, sir. I just got an idea of one issue. There is a place is named with Uddanam in Srikakulam. There are that is a water quality issue. There are so many people are suffering from kidney diseases related to water.
Okay. That's
That's
why
just
we
a one.
trace like some heavy element might be there, like traces of heavy elements. So usually, even right now, Jal Jeevan Mission and all, they do water quality tests, like the groundwater tests and all. So that I need to check where they are available, but mostly they do it like once post monsoon and once in summer. So that is one thing. And again, as I mentioned earlier, you can go to CGWB website. Maybe I'll show you that report, and state-wise they have, okay, this is the water quality issue, this is the like trace element issue. But in the project, what we were trying to do is, this image is a lovely image. It shows, can we be like watershed doctors? Can we identify at least what is the problems? And most of the like the big projects, they are not outcome oriented. We want to see what is the outcome. Like let's say we build this dam, 100 acres or like let's say 95 farmers or like 95,000 acres or this many acres will be impacted within the next 5 years. Can we have specific outcome for each project we work on? For that, we need to see the last 5 years or last 10 years, what was the specific metric and each metric, how it was performing. And again, one question before that is, what do you measure? What are those specific metrics which you should measure? So like that, we questioned ourselves and we did a deep dive into the literature review and this thing. And one more question is that should be scalable, as you were telling, a specific problem in specific region. But can I come up with a framework where that framework can be applied everywhere, but coming up to that problem might be different. And the end result is okay. Identifying this region, water quality is the issue, but how did you identify that from top down? So luckily for us, someone did this similar in education sector. So there is something called as ASER. So ASER is Annual Status of Education Report. So there is a NGO or organization called as Pratham. So before 2000, so what used to happen in primary education is they used to measure the quality of education by how much the government invested in the schools, primary schools, how many teachers they hired. But Pratham told that's not a good way of looking at it. The primary school, the objective of schooling is whether the student has learned or not. So how do you measure that? He should be able to solve a decent math problem. He should be able to write in whatever language he's learning, whatever language he's learning. He should be able to write something. So there, like a 7th standard student should be able to solve a maths question of 7th standard level. Should be able to write in his mother tongue of 7th standard. So 5th standard student should be able to solve a maths question of 7th standard, able to answer a science question of 5th standard. So they basically shifted the goalpost of measuring the quality of education. So as it is mentioned, it shifted the focus from enrollment by just, okay, these many students are coming, these many teachers are coming, these many schools we have done, these many bathrooms we have built, to more of, okay, the students are learning or not. So what they did, like practically I'll tell you, we work with them. So they come up with, they built question papers. For each standard, they built like very simple math test, very simple language test in all the different languages. They went to the students and they made them write the test, made them take the test. And once based on the results, they were like, okay, here the schooling is not good. Like this state is performing better, this state is performing bad. So ASER data revealed a disconnect between enrollment and learning, showing that while enrollment was over 95%, many children could not read a simple paragraph or perform basic arithmetic. And you might have heard like earlier, now it is very less, but when like in the previous past 10 years, you were like class 10 student or class 8 student is not able to solve a class 5 math problem. Like that, you might have seen the videos in YouTube. So these ASER was that report, and Pratham was the organization which actually did that test. So when they first went and showed the government that report, government was like, no, like you have done something, we don't believe it. But then government also did a similar test, and that is the Annual Status of Education report. They also conducted similar test, a math problem, arithmetic problem, and then a language problem to all the children in their particular state, and the results were less than what the Pratham organization got. Then the government realized, okay, what we are measuring is wrong. So education should not be measured on like how much money we are putting or how much kids they are coming. Education, the quality of education should be measured on are the students are learning or not. So this was a very good lesson for us, and this was our foundation. Okay, we want to do something similar for water. Water should not be measured on, okay, as I showed, 80,000 crore is put on Jal Jeevan Mission, 90,000 crore is put on, let's say, Atal Bhujal Yojana or something. But is it really helping? Did the groundwater improve post that mission? Did everyone start getting drinking water and good quality drinking water? As a lot of you told, there might be drinking water available, but if the quality is good, people may not use it. So the focusing on the outcomes is very important, and that's what we wanted to do for Wiser. And also, like one thing is like right now, like Bendy Sridhar also told here, kidney problems or this is the issue, and here this is the issue. But how do you pinpoint that issue to something that is solvable? As when we started, we just told, okay, so fluoride is the issue. So when he told fluoride, okay, water quality is the issue, and as I told, if you look at the CGWB data from the past 5 years, we get to see this is a safe level, but what is the level in that particular region? So like that, can we measure water quality for all the other aspects? So go from anecdotal to a systematic, okay, water scarcity reporting index, slightly anecdotal. Here we tell, especially in Marathwada, this is an image from Marathwada, especially in whenever there is a very bad drought, they have wells like this where water tanker comes and dumps, and then the people go and take the water from there. It's really bad. So, but when we tell, okay, what is the problem? They tell during summers, गर्मी के दिन पानी बहुत कम रहता है. That's not a good way of scientifically measuring what is the problem. So we wanted to go from anecdotal to a proper systematic way of, okay, the drinking water requirement is this much, but during summer we are not meeting that. And have a roadmap for data and technology. And we completely believe, even as an organization and just as a belief, we believe in once we have the data, you can solve a lot of problems. And with the advent of AI, if you collect a proper amount of data and do couple of analysis, you can identify the root cause of that problem. As one of the sir was telling, okay, I face water stagnation in my area in Madurai. If I take a very high resolution dam, because it's a urban area, I need slightly higher resolution digital elevation model, maybe a 10-meter carto dam. If better, if I get high, if I have more money, I'll take a lidar data of very high resolution dam. I'll see, okay, what is the drainage pattern in that area? Okay, here there is like less sort of like the elevation is low and a lot of water is coming from top and there is no proper pathway to go. So that's why we face stagnation like that. So we require that dam data and a couple of analysis to identify the root cause of that problem. So, and then build a movement so that citizen-led, so that a lot of people start using that data and start reporting back to that data. So when we started, and right now also we are sort of deciding on that so that we can build this. We have a framework ready. We put in a lot of effort to develop that framework. And once we have that framework ready, we can team up with anyone or anyone can use that framework to do the wiser for their particular area and then identify, okay, in my area, this is a problem. So this was the whole idea behind what we started to do. And as I told, an annual health checkup is hard and competing objectives are often conflicting. As one of the problems are telling, like water quality is the issue, but if I want to solve that issue, I cannot use more amount of water so that in the future, I should not create one more problem that, okay, there is no water available or the groundwater level is suddenly declining. I will show you a couple of results, but in Punjab, they have very good agriculture and they produce like very good crops in both seasons, Kharif and Rabi. But at what cost? Definitely there is canal water is there, but in places where there is no canal water, they extract a lot of groundwater. And right now it is good, but is it sustainable? And till what level it is sustainable? So in the like they are going deep and deep and deep every year. And right now they're also realizing it is not sustainable that they just keep on exploiting the groundwater. So there is always conflicting dimensions or conflicting interests. So we have to be very careful about how much we are giving to one and what is the the setback, so that we don't create a future problem. Whatever solutions we are providing or we are advocating, they should be sustainable. So one is improve, like we want, all of us want to improve income of the agriculture, reduce crop losses. But then we also want to make sure in the future climate variability is taken care of. Because as you know, like right now we are at a shift of climate change. It's very hard to predict and forecast the rainfall patterns and predict extreme events exactly, because we are right now in the transition phase, and then also promote economic growth. And specifically sustain, we also need proper sustainment of environmental flows, and we need to maintain the groundwater levels also. And then protect human health, as one of the participants was telling, if groundwater quality is bad, that will definitely impact the human health. And also protect the livelihood. If let's say, as Saitri was mentioning, if aquaculture is the issue, we cannot simply tell stop doing aquaculture. We also need, that's their livelihood. We have to make sure the solutions are taken care of and they're sustainable. So the question is, what would the annual water health checkup for a landscape look like? So let's say I'm doing the water health checkup for Godavari Basin, or let's say Telangana entire basin, Krishna Basin. So unlike Asar, like when I showed you this thing, when I talked about education, it's very easy, right? And it's very easy to convince also, because every parent wants their kids' education. Sorry, there is some feedback, sorry. Any doubts, anyone? Okay, I'll just continue. So education, every parents want their kids' education to be really good, and they want to make sure they're really learning, and that is the real outcome. But as I told, when it comes to watershed, it's difficult to see what is the special outcome. There is no single outcome, and then the sustainable development goals have to be taken care of. Also, whatever solutions we provide, they have to be sustainable. So whatever criteria, whatever indicators we choose, they should have certain criteria. So measure what matters, and they should be sensitive and accurate. So if something is changing, it should reflect in our indicators. Let's say we are exploiting too much of groundwater to improve our cropping intensity. There is okay. So this year our crop was really good, but at what cost? Did the groundwater level decrease? That should be shown in these indicators and be widely applicable. As the audience here, it should be applicable to Tamil Nadu, it should be applicable to Godavari Basin, to Karnataka, Maharashtra, like entire India, it should be applicable. And very easy to estimate. So I don't want to develop an indicator where it is so complex that hardly 5 people are using. No, it should be so easy that anyone can say, okay, even I can do this for my basin. I want to look what is the water security for my basin. And finally, phrasing should be so simple that everyone can understand. If you're telling, okay, you have access to irrigation and your access to irrigation is low, your access to irrigation is high. So little okay, I come in the command zone where there is canal irrigation available, where I'm in a non-command where there is no canal irrigation available. That's when my cropping intensity is low, like that. So, and again, so this I thought I should have kept it in the top. So this is more of when I tell water security. What do you mean by water security? Anyone? And okay, leave water security. Can anyone tell me what is financial security? Let's say today you won a lottery of on a nice Sunday morning. Someone told, "Hello, sir, you won a lottery of 10 lakhs." Are you secure? Is it financial security? I understand it's a Sunday. I think all of you might have had a heavy breakfast, but still, if you can have a little bit more interaction, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
No,
finance security is saving money for future. If any major crisis or calamity in our life, we have sufficient backup.
Okay, and how do you do that, sir?
Yeah, I can monthly allocating some.
Okay,
fund.
so
yeah, you want to invest in some SIPs or mutual funds or in various forms of savings, which will give good returns. Okay. At the same time, for insurance, whether general insurance or medical insurance, that will also save our money.
Sure, sir. So the answer shortly is more of your day-to-day basis right now are taken care of, and then you're also making sure, as sir mentioned, your future is taken care of. You plan for the future also. Let's say I'm getting this much amount of salary. No worry, okay. I will have my job for the next 30 years. Do I need to worry about financial security that much? No. But let's say, as sir mentioned, there might be a medical issue or there might be some major, I want to buy a new home. That takes a large chunk of my income. Then I need planning. And similar to that, when we come to water, why we talk about water security is, what is the regular income for us? Salary for most of the professors and for us or any businessman, day-to-day shop or his business is the income. And it is sort of regular. We know at the end of each month, we will have this much of income. And based on that, we plan. But for water, what is the income in the similar terms? Rainfall is the only input that is coming in. And as you all know, it is not that regular like our salary. It comes in, okay, 3 months. earlier we were very sure it will come in this pattern, but now even the pattern is changing. So it comes in a sudden one extreme event, it comes and it might cause a lot of loss, but we are not so sure about that input rainfall thing. So we have to be really careful about how we use that. So that's why we have a lot of storage dams and all. But the whole point was in health security, financial security, we are comfortable because we know each month we are getting this much money, and as sir mentioned, this much I will save, this much I will like spend. But in water, that input we are not so sure, and that is a very highly stochastic random event. If I want to be like slightly scientific, that's a stochastic event, but it's very random. Can we tell tomorrow what is the exact rainfall? I understand with a certain amount of probability we tell, okay, the chance of tomorrow's rainfall is this much with probability of 90%. But it is not a certain event, right? It cannot be a certain event that I can predict the rainfall. So we have to be really careful. So a widely accepted definition is one of by the Gray and Sandorf is it mentions water security as the adequate availability of water quantity and also quality. So I want enough quantity of water, but it should be of good quality. As a lot of people are telling, the quality is the major issue. If I have a lot of water, but it's not living up to my standards of quality, whatever we have for human needs, then no use. And it should quality for health, livelihood, ecosystem, also for ecosystem, not just like, okay, we extract all the water, what about the fishes and the whole riverine ecosystem? And then production coupled with manageable water related risk. So what are the water related risks? One is the floods, as we all see in Himachal, what sort of devastation they might cause. So we want to minimize those risks to the communities, environment, and to the economy. So each devastation will cause a lot of like negative impact to the communities. So people, homes, and their livelihoods are shattered, and the environment, like a lot of like vegetation, complete forest, like wipes down. And then the economies, you have to rebuild everything, and you cannot keep on investing the same money every year again and again. So that's why when we talk about water security, we have to keep the holistic, all these aspects of water in mind. Anyone else has any other definitions or any other points or any other thing we should consider while keeping water security or designing indicators for water security? I'll just start taking names, I guess, like I'll play a sort of fun games for myself. Participants. Attendance here. Arun K. We have Arun K. Yeah, Shukman.
Yeah, water security in the sense we can going for harvesting, rooftop harvesting or other forms of harvesting. What are the water we are receiving in the form of rainfall every year? Usually from June to October, or yeah, in sometimes because of cyclones and all, we're getting around November, December also. So most of the part of country we are wasting the water. Okay, so instead of that, as a government initiative or NGOs or what are the educational institutions, if they take proper initiatives, so at least 10 to 15% we can conserve the water. That is enough, I think.
Yes, sir, that's a valid point. Yeah, that's a valid urban point. Like, but that's very okay. This much I can do, but we are looking at as a watershed. Let's say as a whole state or a whole village, whole district, what can be done and what all things to consider. And whatever you told is sort of sustainable way of measure, like saving the water. Yeah, that's a valid point. Anyone else? And like, I'll just take names. Bhagyashree Patil. Do we have Bhagyashree Patil? Can you unmute yourself? Bhagyashree? I hope I'm audible. Like, Viresh, am I audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, voice is on.
Bhageshri, Delhi. Dr. Anand Babu M. Okay, sure. I'll just continue. Anyone else has anyone issue? So, any questions? So, as I told, ASR was a very good moment for education, and once they changed the measuring indicators from how much of money we're putting on the infrastructure to are the students actually learning, each state government started following, and you can search ASR 2025 or 2024. You can see the recent reports. Each state government releases a report, and there is a ranking among the states. So our question was, is this an endeavor worth exploring for water sector? And what is the principle we should be considering setting up this sort of water indicators? That's what we explored. And we call it WISER, as I showed you, Water Indicator for Sustainability, Equity, and Resilience. And how we got about doing that framework, and we piloted it in 10 villages across 5 states. So I'll show you the results also. So before building any new thing, so what is the first thing you do? Like you talk to experts who already know, and like you do a lot of literature review, like any project before you write, any proposals before you write. So what you do, you study a lot of literature review, you go through what earlier people have done. So similarly, the first thing we did was stakeholder engagement. We asked a lot of people what outcomes matter to them. And then we did a proper literature review, like checked around the globe, what does the water security mean to them and what sort of indicators or metrics they have tried to measure and were they successful, and will it be replicable in India? Because India is a very diverse and like highly populated country where human needs slightly take over more of the environmental needs. And then water security framework. So what all dimensions should we look into? And then within that dimension, what all indicators should be like measured? So with dimensions and indicators based on the above feedback, such a holistic effort is a novelty in India. So like slightly very less people have done to come up with a framework, a single framework which can be applied to entire India, which considers all the aspects of water and brought together existing secondary data. So when I say secondary data, there's a lot of remote sensing data available, like as I told CGWB, the earlier reports and other data available. So we also wanted to see how can we use that data. And then like if I just using that data, if I just show you the results, your question is, sir, just sitting in somewhere in Bangalore, you did the analysis. How can you be so sure? So we also did primary survey and ground truthing. So we did a household survey. We asked them what is the problem you're facing, what sort of tap connections, like drinking water you were getting, what was your last year's yield, how much profit did you make, what sort of problems do you face whenever there is a bad year, do you reduce your cropping pattern, like how much do you reduce? So we conducted a proper primary data. If you want, I'll show you the questionnaire, what we asked, how you want to do it. And then based on that, we sort of validated our secondary data results. And based on that, we finally came up with the indicators for water security. Okay, again, same definition. So this is a slide. I will take like more than 5-10 minutes, but this is a very important slide. So we put in a lot of effort to come up with, okay, when we tell water security, we should talk about the dimension first, like what are the dimensions? So we talk about balance. So how much water is available? So is my storage, do I have positive balance or negative balance? And then do I have access to water? So in access, one is my drinking water access, specifically like very important for the urban area, also for rural area. And then do I have access to irrigation water? And then if I have access, what is the quality of that water? So we measure access by cropping intensity. If they have high access, they do like cropping twice or high cropping they do. And domestic water access, then drinking water is good. Then what is the drinking water quality? And then we came with the dimension productivity. Okay, if I have this amount of water available, am I using it correctly, or from that, am I making the best use of that water? So this is called economic productivity. So let's say if I have 1,000 meter cube of water, what is the amount of money I'm generating from that? Basically, crops, agriculture income, but that's what we wanted to see. INR per meter cube. If I have per meter cube of water I'm getting, how much INR I'm generating? And then resilience. Anyone, what is your definition of resilience? What do you mean by resilience? I don't want the same people to answer. Anyone else, please? Dr. Chinmayi Das, are you there? Dr. Chinmayi Das? Are these people actually there, or they're just like kept? Okay. Dr. Shubham Dangwal? Dr. Shubham Dangwal? Okay. Devabrat Pati? Devabrat? About to stress, sorry, Muhammad Ishaq Pasha. Yeah, you can unmute Muhammad. Like, Dr. Rajit, yeah. What is resilience? Like, I want to know what is your idea of resilience?
Dr. Bernard.
Sir, good morning, sir. Myself engineering college. Yeah, sir. I think it's a challenges which we require do for that requirement, and for we can say that any challenges we can take down.
Okay. Yeah, Vishal, sorry. Yeah, Mohammed. Yeah, thanks for the answer.
Yeah, I was saying about in water quality and environmental science, resilience means maybe the ability of any water body to withstand any disturbance.
Yeah, any
disturbance like pollution, flood, climate change, overuse, and recover its natural balance.
Okay, so basically going to an extent of because of a certain event, and then again coming back to the original state. And here we slightly see resilience is whenever you have floods or droughts, because that's a major event in water sector. And during that, how bad does it get on the ground? Let's say this is a very bad example, but I guess like I'll just take it. This month you don't get a salary. How good are you? How good will you manage this month? Okay, let's say this you don't get this month's salary. Okay, I don't need to worry. I have enough savings. Let's say another month you don't get salary. You're like, okay, slightly bad, I can manage. But third month, let's say you get your salary, everything is back to your original state. So your resilience was like, okay, for 2 months I could manage without any stress. Similarly, water sector, let's say there is no water. So how do you manage? Your cropping intensity reduces, and then what is your chances of having those high resilience, like proper droughts and floods? So we look at propensity to drought, how often do you get droughts, and then propensity to flood. So is there like high chance of flood in your area? Anyone else like has any idea of resilience, or have you worked with resilience? So Dr. Vishal and Dr. Viresh, my question is like all of them are faculties, right? Like those are in the participants.
Yes, doctor. Mostly
Okay.
faculty, and some are maybe from research background, research scholars.
Okay, but mostly researchers or faculty. So all of you will be working with data, and let's say all of you will be writing proposals and this thing. So you might have read a lot of literature, academic papers. Have you come across propensity to flood, propensity to drought, resilience? This state is high resilient, or this nation is highly resilient, like that. Anyone? I think otherwise this FDPs and all will be not that beneficial if you don't interact, and if you want to take out or get out something, because let's say this is a very introduction to what we're doing, because I need slightly better conversation to happen for the, if you're giving intro to the GE Google Earth Engine. But anyway, let's continue. So resilience is one dimension, and in that we are measuring variation in cropping intensity. So okay, whenever there is a drought, how bad does it get on the ground? So what is the variation? Do you reduce your cropping intensity, or do you keep it same? And then how often do floods and droughts happen? And we also looked at governance. We looked at, in water, how do you govern the water? Is there a local authority to govern water? And this is slightly related to the rural. So all these dimensions, our focus is more of rural India right now, because that's where large population of India still reside in the rural part of India, and agriculture is the dominant uh, income-related profession in rural India. So all these dimensions and indicators were specifically built for rural India, and there we wanted to see whenever there's a bad year, how the Gram Panchayats or any other local organization is there, or how do the local people manage their water. And we also considered governance as a dimension. And then, as like a lot of people you measure, like you told, and even Dr. Vishal told, we also wanted to look at what is the ambient water quality. Let's say they have a streams or lakes in their village. What is the water quality of that, and what is the water state for that ambient water quality? So, and are there any fishes? Like, is there any algal problem? What is the water quality problem on that? So, like, I take 2 minutes. Do you have any questions, or do you suggest anything should be added to this or removed from this, or are we missing something? Or this covers holistic water sector, and this was specifically meant for rural India. So if you have any suggestions for urban India, because urban, definitely there will be a lot of sewage treatment and all will come. So look at it from a rural India background. So for agriculture sector or this thing, anyone has any questions, or like just go for it, like criticize if you like, to tell us what we should add, what we should remove. And each color, so these are the holistic dimensions what we are looking. So when the first question, when I asked what is the problem you have in your area, so one thing what we want to do at Well Labs is we want to make terminologies common across the fields, be it academic, be it non-profit, be it like commercial thing, so that everyone tells, sir, in my area balance is the issue. So we know, okay, the storage is low. No, sir, in my area water access is the issue. So we know, okay, they don't have access to drinking water, or there is no access to irrigation water, or no, in my area productivity is the issue. Community, it reads at, oh, sorry, 1 second. I'm missing something in the chat. Sorry, Ishak, I didn't understand. Ishak, can you tell your point? Okay. Muhammad Ishak, can you unmute? Community drills that cause we can protect. I didn't understand the point. Come, please. Okay, government is about to use, sure. So, so we want to make sure whenever, okay, what is a water issue in your area? Let's say Godavari, no, one is water quality is the issue, so water access is the issue, and then let's say, as Sai was telling, water ecosystem and health. So because of aquaculture, or overall health of the like water health, the water quality is decreasing like that. Anyone Any points on this? Anyone else? What is your suggestion on this? Or is it correct? Is it bad? Do you want me to remove? I'll just take the at least the presenters. Okay. Viresh, you have any view on this? Are we covering all the aspects of water security, or are we missing something?
Yes, sir. Totally covered.
Okay. So let's say you see a report like this, so you understand, okay, what is the problem in that specific area? Any other like participants?
Participants, please respond to the questions. If you have any insights, also you can suggest here.
Yeah,
I
please
request each and every
okay.
faculty.
We are open to like suggestion, criticism, like beat anything. Because I hope a lot of senior faculty will also be there. So this is perfect. I hope like that's the summary from your silence, I guess. Or Sai, do you have any suggestions? Like,
no, I think everything is covered. I think we can go ahead.
okay, sure. So one thing I wanted all of you to keep in mind is the colors of the indicators. So as you see, this is a mix of primary, secondary, and purely remote sensing data we are taking. So water stress we are directly taking from the central groundwater board. They have water stress data. So the amount of water is available and the amount of water extracted. We take the ratio, and then the surface water change. We use remote sensing data, but we also validate on the ground. And then for cropping intensity, we use the Bowen land use land cover data. And then domestic water and domestic water quality. As we are doing primary survey, we ask the people, we ask the household, okay, do you have ample drinking water and what is the source of your domestic drinking water? Yeah, Shivkumar. Wow, please. Please, sir. Yeah, unmute and please. Yes, Shivkumar, sir. Please go ahead.
I think it's not responding. Can we continue?
Okay, sure. Okay. Then I'll
actually Mike. Okay. So now coming to the actual indicators. So as you see, these are the indicators and this is sort of framework. But how do they look? Okay. I think the hand is okay. So how do they actually look on the ground and what are the values? So we sort of prepared these scorecards. As you can see, the first is the groundwater level. Unable to unmute. Sorry. Sorry, I guess he's unable to unmute. Can someone let it or unmute Shivkumar Babu, please? Viresh, can you unmute Shivkumar Babu?
Mr. Shivkumar Babu, sir, could you try now once, sir?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Sir, my question is how to access the water resources in river basins or any streams by using remote sensing technology.
Can you be a bit more specific, sir? Like what exactly do you need?
Pardon, sir?
Like what exactly do you need? Like when you say river basin.
Yeah, how to access the water resources? What are the water resources available in the particular river basin?
When you say water resources, do you want to find the surface area or do you want to see the groundwater level? Like,
yeah. Is there any remote sensing techniques for that?
Yes, sir. Like there are different websites where you get the data, and it's more about if you can be slightly bit more specific about this is exactly what I need. Because when you say water resources, it's a slightly collective of a lot of things.
Okay.
Like something like this. Do you want something like all of this, or do you want any particular indicator, or what do you need?
Yeah, I want to assess the surface water on the river basin.
Okay. Step by step, if I want to tell you,
Sure.
do you know GIS? Do you work with GIS data?
Yeah.
Okay. So get Sentinel data. Which basin do you want to work, sir? Like which basin are you working?
Any basin, sir. Gudlangam or Krishna, whatever it may be.
Okay, let's say Krishna basin you want to work on.
Yeah.
So I guess this is a. I'll just take 5 minutes detour to answer the question. So imagine you want to find the surface water availability in Krishna basin for any specific year or like last 5 years like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say 2020, I want to see what is the surface water available. Depth is slightly tricky using remote sensing. There are still we are developing, but surface water is very easy. So first thing first, we need a shapefile. So all of you, what is a shapefile? It's a geometry of the basin. So you can get it from India AICE website, or there are other sources. And then once you have the shapefile ready, I would suggest you take a Sentinel. It's a European Space Agency satellite, sir. You have Sentinel remote sensing satellite. It's a 10-meter spatial resolution. You get multispectral image. So
MSS image, okay?
Yeah, MSS image. And I have one indicator. So I'll just share, and when I come to that, I'll probably answer your question along with that, sir. Sure. Is it fine?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So first is, so as I told, we have these. So we have a surface water extent, so that will answer your question. So first is the groundwater level. So we want to see what this indicator tells. So this indicator tracks the annual groundwater level trends that tell us whether the local water use is sustainable or not.
Okay.
And as you can see, our selection criteria for all the indicators were outcome oriented. They should be outcome oriented. If I do any outcome, like any intervention, that outcome should be visible in my indicators. So how we calculated, one of the, like a lot of people are telling about groundwater data. So we use the central groundwater data, and from that we use pre-monsoon and post-monsoon. So one of the problems is that data is not consistent. There are a lot of like null values, and there are very few consistent data for your let's say village level. We were looking at village level. So slightly go through your watershed if you want to identify, let's say all of you are near Andhra and Telangana and Andhra and Karnataka border. So see what all points do you have, groundwater points available near your locations. Different people might have different people, but from my experience, data is slightly inconsistent. There is not consistent, like you get data at every place like that. It is not there. You need to do a lot of data cleaning. And once you do that, you sort of, we check pre-monsoon like and post-monsoon and the summer data. So what is the groundwater level variation? And one caveat or one what do you call caveat? Like one thing you need to be careful is in alluvial aquifer, like in the North Indian basin, the groundwater level, if it's decreasing or increasing, you can take it just by looking at it. But in hard rock aquifer, you need to be really careful. That may not give the overall picture, because some, like during the good year or somewhere, the data might be there. So this particular indicator is really good for alluvium aquifer in North India. So we also validated this data using, when we did the ground truth primary survey, 3 points on each village. We took 3 well points, and we asked the surveyor to take the reading there, and we asked the local people what was the water level 10 years ago, sort of thing. So we sort of validated the CJWB data set and how this can be used. So this can be used in problem diagnosis. So demarcate the problematic area. So within a village or within district, you see, okay, this problem, this area is groundwater problem is there and needs an intervention, and then an NGO or a government or even a or academic institution, if you're writing a proposal, you can write proposal highlighting that particular area. Okay, here the groundwater problem is there, and you can for planning, signal fluctuation can be useful in various ways, especially the amount of recharge. What is the amount of recharge, which may be easy to identify using this area. And impact assessment, as I was showing earlier, if you built any check dams or if you want to see what is the impact of any specific interventions you have made, you can change the groundwater level. This is a key indicator for sustainability. So one of the limitations is as I told, the data is not that good right now, but we are sort of using the Jal Jeevan mission data. They also take the groundwater level data, Jaldoot data, sorry. So the Jaldoot data is Jaldoot mission. They take groundwater data and they update in the website. So if you get that data, this will be really good. So one of the things what we want to see is, as I told, we did the primary survey in Karnataka, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, UP, and Punjab. And each places, this was a pilot. So we wanted to test whatever like framework we have done, whether it's performing nicely or not. So we took two villages and we partnered with the NGOs which work there, and they went and helped us with the primary survey. And we wanted to highlight, as you can see here, the key takeaways. So one is in Punjab. All other places, UP and all, you can see the alluvial aquifer it decreasing in summer and again it recharges in the post monsoon. But Punjab, as you can see, there is complete continuous decline. But
sir, sorry to interrupt. What is that minus sign indicates? Minus 12.93 minus.
Like below the ground level. Like
okay, below the road.
Like no, one is below and one is the 10-year difference. Like let's say what is the value 2005 and what is the current value. So current value is like again 12 meters below the ground.
Okay.
Ground level is 12 meters below. Compared to the value in 2005. So if we can see, like we compared the value from 2005 to 2020. So Punjab, there is drastic decrease, but we also want to see in hard rock areas which months the well go dry. So in Chhattisgarh, 40% of the well dry up mostly in Jan and March. As you can see, the summer is in April, May, but 40% of the wells are getting dried in Jan and March. In Karnataka, we did survey in Raichur district, northern Karnataka. 60% of the well dry in Jan and March. And Maharashtra, especially, we did in this near what is it, Marathwada place. So there, around 90% of the wells mostly dry up there. And Uppargarava and Malegaon, we did in Malegaon. So there 90% as you can see. And then the second indicator was the surface water extent. So here we wanted to see what is the change in surface area post monsoon and in summer. And this indicator will tell us how the presence of water availability in water bodies is there. So it helps in assessing the impact of anthropogenic activities. Let's say if there is a lot of groundwater extraction, the water area will suddenly decrease a lot. And then, so how do we want to calculate this? So we use a very simple technique because we wanted it to be scalable. And the question what Shivkumar Babu sir asked, you can do this also at a basin level. So we took the satellite data and we used a very simple NDWI index. And based on that, we validated it. And this is how the results look like. So this is for one village in Chhattisgarh, Kokanpur. As you can see the maps on top. So one is for November, post-monsoon, and one is May. So as you can see, a lot of area has reduced in May. And we did this for last 10 years. And we wanted to see what is the water surface area in post-monsoon November and what is the water surface area in this. And then we calculated an index based on this area and we called it seasonal surface water reduction. And based on that seasonal surface water reduction, we calculated whether there is high reduction or very high reduction or moderate reduction like that. So this can be a very good index, like Shubham sir, like what you were telling. If you have a shapefile like this for your Krishna basin, calculate the surface water. This is a very simple index, and maybe I'll show you an app which I'm right now building to automate this for entire area. So this you get what is the surface water area for Krishna basin in the last 10 years, whether it is increasing, decreasing. You can then do trend analysis and all sort of analysis. But for the whole idea is for us, we wanted to keep that very simple. So just by looking at it, you know, okay, this is my area. And we want right from villagers, farmers to academicians, researchers, and even the government policymakers to use this data. So that's why if they just see this graph and just see this SSWR column, they know, okay, here there's high reduction. As you can see in Maharashtra, like Malegaon, there is like very high reduction in sound. Any doubts or any questions, any queries on these indices?
No, sir.
Okay, sure. And then water stress. So as I told, water stress is a very good indicator in the water balance dimension. So this is what is the total annual groundwater you are extracting to what is the groundwater recharge is available. And this is directly we took the data from Central Groundwater Board dashboard. So there is something called the ingress. So I'll share all these what all resources available. Maybe the organizers can share them in later. All of them I can put it in a single Word doc or a Google Doc. You can share them. So there is a. So this is the ingress website. This is CTWB website. So earlier they used to release the data in sort of PDF, and they sort of converted entire PDF into the spatial data and hosted in a very nice website. So you can, as you can see, you can zoom in, you can select the year of assessment. You can, let's say I take 2023, 2024. So you see what is the level of water extraction in your particular block. Earlier they used to give the data at block level, but now I think even village level they are started to give. So that's one good thing. And side you can see what is the annual groundwater extractable water available and what is the extraction that is done. And based on that they categorize into safe, critical, like that. And this is a very good thing. You go to this website, it tells, okay, what is the annual rainfall, what is the total extractable groundwater resource available. But one problem with this is they have a lot of assumptions how they got this water. So if you're doing for a very small watershed, I don't think so. If you're doing in-depth hydrological analysis or any groundwater analysis, mud flow or something, I don't think so you will arrive at this data or this reading. But this is a good range per data. You want to know, okay, what is the range of values I might get for my region? So this is good. If you want, you can dig a little bit deeper into the report. They have a lot of assumption and they mention how they came up with. So they have the rainfall, groundwater recharge. So as you can see, stream, channel recharge, canal irrigation. So a lot of assumptions are involved in this numbers. So take it with a pinch of salt. So that's what I want to tell. Like, don't rely that okay, this is 100% accurate, and this if I have modeled why my numbers are not matching, why my numbers are not matching. So this is a very good website where you can get the water stress data. So we use that data, and we came for our blocks. So as you can see, we were doing for in Maharashtra Ipparka. So we had our villages, and in Karnataka it was Devdurga block, and in Chhattisgarh Bagrai and Kokanpur, two villages. UP we did it for Rupdia and Bangai. These were the two villages. And here, as you can see from the table, and again coming back to this column, now you can relate to these things. So the groundwater extraction is very high in Punjab. Rest all it is manageable. So even the water stress is very high. It is like overexploited in Punjab. Rest all places it is safe. So that's where whole the framework and everything. You can relate one indicator to the other. You can see okay, and that is our also the final deliverables that we deliver a framework where people look for sustainable solution, not just okay, this we increase. We don't care about other indicators or other dimensions. We have to consider all the dimensions holistically. And then cropping intensity. So we come into the water access dimension. So here, this indicator, we wanted to see, do the farmers have access to irrigation or not? And this is very difficult to do a primary survey on because we wanted to do it for entire India. So we use Bowen's land use data. You just have to ask them for the data, maybe write a letter or an email. They will share the data that's completely open source and freely available. And using that land use data, the land use class, they have like Kharif, Rabi, double crop, size like that. So based on that data, we calculated cropping intensity. We calculated an indicator. And that indicator we can then categorize into like as here we are writing okay, irrigation access from cropping intensity. So irrigation access is assessed based on the average cropping intensity value. So we took an average of last 12 years. You can even calculate for individual years. So if the cropping intensity is very low, like less than 90%, we categorize it to very low, then 90 to 100% low, very high 150 to 180%. Okay. So these were the results for all the 10 villages. And during a primary survey, we also asked the farmers what is their primary source of irrigation water. So as you can see in Punjab, the cropping intensity is really high. The maximum cropping intensity is 200%. So 100% in Kharif, 100% in Rabi. So you can reach up till 200%. So Punjab, they're reaching almost 200%, but at what cost? Most of the source is well source. So they're extracting groundwater, and that is visible here, like in the water stress that is visible in the groundwater. So, but they're really doing really well in cropping intensity, like both Kharif and Rabi agriculture, they're doing really well. And in UP, like UP is also really good. Rupdia is like moderate irrigation access, but 150% is really good. Chhattisgarh, very low because they're completely dependent on rainfall. They are like rain-fed areas. Maharashtra also completely rain-fed areas, as you can see, very low. So one bad rainfall year, they're really in trouble. So their cropping intensity completely depends on rainfall. And in Karnataka, here is a very interesting case. Biyar Gunda, so Bogi Raman Gunda and Sulat Gunda, these are two villages. They are neighboring villages in Karnataka. But as you can see, one village, the cropping intensity is 168%, another village 72%. That is because like one village has access to canal irrigation water, and one village doesn't. So let's say you cannot make a random or a generalized initiative just based on, okay, this region I will do this, but within that region also village level there is very drastic difference in the access to irrigation. So this is the work we are right now doing. So earlier we piloted it for just 10 villages. This is for entire Raichur district. So this is Raichur district in Karnataka. As you can see, this is the land use map, and we have divided. So there are two canals which go, Tungabhadra left bank canal and Narayanpur right bank canal. So two canals will go, and green is double crop or like where cropping intensity is very high. Yellow is like non-command area where they don't have irrigation access. And this is our cropping intensity map. As you can see, wherever there is no access to irrigation, you see complete red. There's very low. But wherever there is like canals are going, the cropping intensity is really good. Like few regions are like better, few are like really bad. So this is what we wanted to make, and we imagine a map like this for entire India or entire Godavari basin. As you can see, okay, wherever my village is falling, what is the cropping intensity? Why is it like that? Like that. So this is what we are trying to do right now. And give me a second. I'll show you a cool app. Just give me a second. So one of the colleague built this app for cropping intensity. So right now, let it load. Okay, so we are working in Karnataka, Raichur, and we wanted to see what is the cropping intensity in that particular village. So this is the app we have built. Let's say I take and the Bhuvan land use data is from 2006 to 2023 we or 2024 we have. So let's say I take from 2010, I want to see till 2020. 10 year, I want to see what is the cropping. It's just slightly slow, so just bear with me for 2 minutes. So yeah, this is one village. The village name is Benchula Doddi in Raichur, Karnataka. As you can see, the average cropping intensity is 90.6%, so slightly moderate. And the last 10 years, what is the cropping intensity? So in 2011, it was 72%, 2012, 76, and it decreased. And we are trying to map rainfall along with this. So you can see, okay, during the bad rainfall, what is the cropping intensity? So this will be very useful. So if you're writing any proposals or anything, you can use this indicator. Is domestic water access. So this is completely primary data based. So during our primary survey, we ask the households, what is your domestic water access? Do you have access to domestic water? And this indicator measures how many households in a village have adequate drinking water. And that directly maps to the UN sustainable goal also. Like UN also uses an indicator for do they have domestic water access. So a wiser scorecard will show what percentage of households have access to drinking water. And looks like this. So in Biyargunda, in Karnataka, almost 100% of the households had access to irrigation, and the primary source was borewell. Pipe public taps. And then in Punjab, 100%, but wells were the primary source. In Bagrai and Kokanpur, the access is not that good. So Chhattisgarh, as you can see from this, the domestic water access is not that good. They still need to work on that. So this, imagine like this for all India. So it gives an overall picture, okay, which all places have good access to irrigation, which all places have not so good access to irrigation. Hopefully this gives you some ideas for your projects which are working. And if you want to collaborate, please like write a mail to me, or if you want any help with any data or anything, please feel free to contact. So next is the domestic water quality. This also we used using the primary data itself. In the primary survey, we asked them, do you face any problems? And right now we are doing this for Raichur. There we are actually testing the domestic water. So we have like portable kits. So we are testing fluoride, as Viresh in the beginning told, they face problems. So we are also sort of validating and testing what is the cause for that. So imagine you have enough data points along with that. So entire this Raichur, we are doing primary survey in around close to 90 villages. So close to 90 villages, 2,500 households, we are doing primary survey. So 2,500 households, we will do the fluoride testing, TDS testing, and we'll get very good data points. And then we can validate what is the source for that. So here we ask, like, did you face any problems? Did you have any health issues related to water because of the water quality? So very few households contacted any waterborne disease. And next is the water crop productivity. As I told, if you are providing the farmers per meter cube of water, what is the amount of money they are generating? So this is economic productivity. So we slightly divide it in a very nice way. Can you see this graph? The X is average crop water requirement per meter cube area, and what is the average revenue? So ideally, we want everyone to be in the top column where they are using very less water and they are generating very high crops. But that may or may not be possible, I understand. But let's say this Chowke and Ruptia, Nagra, as you can see in Punjab, they generate very high revenue, but at the cost of very high water. So this is not useful or not a sustainable way of generating income. So this is right now we are mapping it for entire Raichur district also and for Karnataka. So just to see where do all the farmers and all the crops lie. So if the crop, let's say here, especially in Maharashtra, Tipparga, Rava, they generate soybean and jawar. They use a lot of water, but the revenue generated is not that great. So this can be slightly shifted here. So we want all the farmers to be either in the top left or the bottom left quadrant, so that they consume very less water, and otherwise if they consume more water, they generate high INR, so that it is the economic productivity is high. So high revenue, low CWR, consumption water. And then variation in cropping intensity. So in the resilience dimension, as Dr. Vishal also told, so we are looking at whenever there is a bad year, how bad does it get on the ground, or how did it impact the farmers in that particular village? So we first looked at the rainfall. We looked at the deficit years. So whenever there is the rainfall is 20% of the long-term average. So we call it a deficit years according to IMD. And during that deficit years, we went back to a cropping intensity map and we saw what is the reduction in the cropping intensity. And based on that, based on the reduction, we classified it to high resilient, low resilient villages. So here, this is a very important and like nice graph. So this graph here, you can see what is the reduction in crop during a bad year and what is the impact. So in Punjab, whether it is a good year, bad year, they have rainfall, they don't reduce their crop because they extract a lot of groundwater and they still maintain the cropping percentage. So both the villages in Punjab, the reduction is very low. But as you can see, come to UP, the slightly reduction in Rupdia especially, the Kharif cropping, monsoon cropping does not get affected that much, but the Rabi cropping gets impacted in Rupdia UP. But when it comes to Chhattisgarh, like let's say there is a bad rainfall year, somehow they manage the Kharif, the rainfall crop, but Rabi cropping they completely reduce. 80% means they're basically skipping their Rabi cropping. So imagine their income, there is no income if there is a bad year in Chhattisgarh. And even in Maharashtra also. In Maharashtra, even the Kharif gets impacted very high. There's 50%, 57, close to 60% reduction in Kharif cropping, and the Rabi is 90% and 80% reduction. In Karnataka, again, there are two neighboring villages, Bihargunda, which has access to canal irrigation. The Kharif and Rabi both don't decrease that much if there is a bad rainfall year. But in Sulatgutta, if there is a bad rainfall year, the Rabi cropping is completely impacted. For you and me, these are just numbers. I'm just telling 75% reduction in cropping. But imagine a farmer is not able to do cropping and there is no income generated if there is a bad rainfall year. So if any interventions or any policymakers want to do, these sort of metrics help them take those decisions. Okay, here we need a lot of interventions, or government needs to work here because whenever there's a bad year, we may need to give them a separate employment or something, or even improve the water storage first. Like basic is improve the water storage and provide irrigation. If not, more number of employment or something, alternate employment during a bad rainfall year. And then propensity to flood. So we directly use the NDRF data. So they use something called as flood vulnerability index from the National Remote Sensing Center, and all the National Disaster Response Force team, they also use this data. So from that flood vulnerability index, we classified are these villages highly vulnerable or low vulnerable. So the Maharashtra villages were low vulnerable, but villages in UP and Chhattisgarh, they are highly vulnerable to floods. And then propensity to, we looked at both meteorological drought, which considers mostly the rainfall is the dominant parameter, and also slightly evapotranspiration. But we consider the SPI index. There is a drought atlas map of India. This is also from IIT Gandhinagar. So I'll just click. So if any one of you want to use this, this is also a very good resource. You can select your state, let's say Karnataka, select your district. What you want to know which say you select the year. So they have this is done from the IMD data. So let's say I want from the past 50 years, let's say 1980 and year. Or do you want like season? Okay, I want like winter season calendar year. So basically, let's say calendar years. So there, it calculates the SPI index. So based on that, you say, okay, this is a drought year, this is a bad year. So this is a very good resource for anyone using or getting into this analysis sort of thing. Or even you can give this to your students and make them play around and generate data for a couple of places where you're working. From this, we categorized. Yeah. So based on the index, we categorize into drought categories like -2 to 3, exceptional drought, -1.6 to 2, extreme drought, severe drought, moderate, like that. So Sulatgutta, the North Karnataka and bit of UP has high propensity to drought. And then we also calculate what is the propensity to agricultural drought based on an index called as vegetation condition index. It uses NDVI primarily, and based on that, we calculated what is the propensity to agricultural drought. So North Karnataka is slightly more feasible to or more prone to agricultural drought. So we calculated how many seasons the agricultural drought was impacted. So both Biharmunda and Sulbutta. So they are impacted by agricultural droughts a lot. And then local water governance. So this measures how many households in the village report that the community or the village has a water governance institution. So let's say when everything is going good, but whenever there is a bad year or a bad rainfall, how the locals manage their resources for drinking, for irrigation, for their cattle. So that's what we wanted to look. And this was completely done using the primary survey. So we asked question, is there a primary institution which takes care of your water-related issues? Are you part of that? Has there been any conflicts or fights, or some community is not allowed to drink water, or like all these questions we asked at village level, because we wanted to know, is there any problem in that village? And we did it for each village. We took 30 households, so around 300 households we did the primary survey. And based on that, we came up with the scores that these many percentages of households reporting that village has a governance institution, and few people answered that they don't have an institution, but having such an institution would be really helpful for them. And then the ambient water quality. So not just drinking water, let's say there is lakes and ponds in the village. What is the water quality of that pond? So we wanted to see, is there any eutrophication or presence of green algal in that, and presence of fishes. So fishes is sort of a very good proxy indicator for what is the water quality of that particular ambient pond. So during the primary survey, we asked them, is there any presence of algal or eutrophication and presence of fishes? So no eutrophication and presence of fish, we classified it as good. There is some eutrophication, but still presence of fish, so we classified it as moderate. And there is large eutrophication, there are no fishes, so we classified it as poor water quality. And then for all the villages, this was the scores. So now I just showed you individually how we calculated. Imagine a scorecard like this. So when I started, I told you, imagine your children or even your students, you get the scorecard. So similarly for water, we wanted a scorecard. That was our initial goal, what we wanted to achieve. And finally, this is what we came up with for all the 10 villages. So as you can see, these are the pilot villages in Punjab, UP, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, 2 individual villages. This is the dimension: balance, access, productivity, resilience. These are the individual indicators. What does those indicator means? Let's say for surface water, this is a percentage reduction in surface water extent between post monsoon in once in November and we once in take in May, peak May, and we see what is the reduction in area. And based on that area, we gave the score. So take 5 minutes, go through this slide and tell me, is it good? Will it be helpful if you create a scorecard for your area like this? Any questions? Any questions, any doubts, like any suggestions, any views, just any views? Yes, sir. Please.
Sir, regarding ambient water quality, how we can define this poor, moderate, and good?
So what we did, sir, so one thing you should consider is like also data constraint. Can you see this slide, how it is calculated?
Okay.
So this was completely, currently we are doing for entire district, there we are actually measuring the water quality for those particular samples, even the lake samples. But during the pilot, because we didn't have water quality kits and all, we asked the people, during the primary survey, we went to the villages and we asked the people, is there any presence of eutrophication? Are there fishes present? So the presence of fish is also a proxy indicator for the water quality, because they also need certain level of good DO oxygen for their presence. So based on that, we classify it. Like if there is, I guess I will show. Yeah. So let's say an example I take is in Punjab. The Chowke is one village. No eutrophication, no fish, poor. Free from eutrophication, like no, like that. We classify. Any doubts, or like, would you like to collaborate to make something like this? Any labs available to test whether we, sorry, are useful as we want to drill bore in Basota? I didn't understand. Any labs available to test water? So two things. One is you can get the field kits are very affordable. I don't think so they are that expensive, but I didn't understand your questions, Madisha. Can you explain your question, please? Muhammad Ishaq?
Yes, sir. Actually, what means I actually want to drill the bore in the agriculture. So I want to test by any kind of instrument which is available nearby the Basokalyan.
Okay, so two things. I'll maybe I'll just show you side by side, but like 2 minutes, I'll answer your question. But any comments or any thoughts on this? Like, did we do a good job? Like, are like, is it helpful? Let's imagine a scorecard like this for all the villages in your state or in your district. Just by looking at it, you know, okay, in my village, let's say I go from Punjab. So what I told you in the beginning, if you just look at the water access, if you imagine there is no water balance and all, you're like Punjab is doing very good in cropping intensity, domestic water access, and everything. But at what cost? Groundwater level. So they are over exploiting their groundwater, and their water stress and groundwater levels are very, like, in a very drastic condition. So is it sustainable? I don't think so. It's not sustainable. Sure, Ravi. One thing, you can all can once. All of you. So this is a company's website, like Well Labs. If you go here, and there are like nice blogs and all if you want to read what we do and all. But if you specifically want all the results and reports, go click on the research tab. And here, like, you have other reports, what we are doing. If you're interested, please read, because we do really good work in Marathwada and all. But if you want this specific result, this is the thing. I'll share the link, but here you can find phase 1 results for water security index. Click on it. So there is a PDF, you have the presentation, and there's a video explanation. If you want, like, you can choose anyone, whatever your comfort. You're like, I don't want to read all this. So can someone, like, while I'm walking, I just want to watch a video. So me and my colleague have nicely explained what we do. So I'll just skip it. Yeah. So here you can see that we have explained what we have done, the results and everything. So you can go through this also. So whatever you like, you can go through this. So I'll just link this. And I think I sort of not so good with the time management. Sorry, we cannot do the Earth Engine bit, but I will try to show some results. But is this helpful? Like, from what I learned is all of you are faculties and you will be writing proposals. You have to write research papers. I hope you got some new ideas or some place where you can start with, or start exploring. Can I do something similar for my area? I hope that was helpful. No? And ultimately, our goal was to come up. Imagine each individual. So we're building a nice dashboard and website. So once that is done, I'll probably try to share with all of you. But imagine a village, each individual village. You are sitting. Most all of us have slightly gone far from our village because of our work commitment and all. But just by clicking, you can know overall water aspect of your village, like from balance, productivity, governance, and such. So you get a picture of your village just by one click. So that is what our vision and our goal is. So imagine a scorecard like this for your village. Any questions? Please like ask questions, like otherwise it doesn't make sense. And all of you are faculty, so you might have a lot of questions.
I request participants to ask questions regarding the whatever content he has shared till now.
Sir, this is Shivakumar.
Yeah.
Sir, how SWOT model is useful in this river basin and all?
Okay, sir. So one thing is, what all indicators I showed was slightly on the upper level. Let's say we just scratched the surface because we wanted scaling was our goal. We wanted to do it for entire India. So when you talk about SWOT and all, yeah, here in the balance thing, the water stress, what is the amount of water available? You need to SWOT is a like hydrological model. It you can compute the amount of water available much better for a small watershed using SWOT, and that will be really beneficial and more accurate. This water stress indicator, as I showed, the CGWB, they have a lot of assumption. Let's say you don't like those assumptions, you want to actually see, okay, I have the land use data. I guess one of the session was that you went through the SWOT plus one of my colleague and friend Chandan might have showed how to do SWOT modeling. So let's say you have the rainfall data, land use data, the soil data. Then you want to see what is the discharge for my area. So and you can calculate for each particular point what is the discharge. Once you model, you have a own SWOT model. So then you can improve these particular indicators. Right now, our focus was more of, is there any data available or is there any secondary data available for a village level? Because we want to scale it and make it easy for everyone. You are like, this is good, but I want to only do the water balance at a very good small watershed level. So then SWOT model can be very beneficial.
Okay, it is fit for only for small basins, not suit for
you need high resources, sir. Like if you're building, it's slightly computationally heavy. If you're doing for a very large basin, maybe if you're like very good RAM,
huge database required. Okay.
Yeah. Not database, like slightly RAM and all. Otherwise, it just keeps on processing. Because one thing is you need to validate the data also, sir. Like it's not just like again you just produce some discharge. How do you know it is good? So you have observed data. You need to validate, calibrate your model also. So that will take a lot of time. Because SWOT Cup is a calibration software. They don't allow parallel computing, so only series and minimum 2000 iterations you need to do. So it takes, if it is a big basin, it takes 3-4 days for calibration. I wouldn't recommend it. Like it takes a lot of time for big basin. So maybe divide your basin into small basin and go.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Any other feedback? Like, did you like the session? Was it helpful? Hope you got an idea. And we really like to, like, I would like to thank. We work with a lot of organizations like CIPT, Pani Sansthan, SSP, because they went and did the primary survey for us, and a lot of people are involved. And specifically the team. This is the team we worked on this indicator. What all results I showed is the complete teamwork. And if you need any help, please feel free to contact me. Like my name is Sudeep Parna, so this is my mail ID. So feel free to text, or like if you need any help with the data, or if you feel this can be beneficial. So I'll stop sharing my screen. So
I'm requesting participate if there is any questions regarding this session. So before going to conclude the session.
And one more thing is, like, sorry, I didn't have much time regarding the Earth engine bit, but I will share this. All the few. Yeah. Please go through this website. So there is a website called Spatial Thoughts. So the person is Ujjwal Gandhi. He used to work in Google and he was sort of a founding member of Google Earth Engine. Now he has started, he teaches Google Earth Engine. So please go through the website. If you have any doubts, you can mail him. Go through his YouTube channel also. That is also really good. He has clear, simple like classes for all the things you want to learn about spatial data. There is not much hydrological model related, but and he's really good. I feel like, and he explains in a very simple and nice. Any final remarks or anything?
Dear participants, is there any queries or suggestions that you give to this? I'm requesting each and everyone. So I will give 2 minutes of time. Please respond.
It's a nice presentation, sir, and then have a lot of information from you. Then it shows a lot of interest and generate a lot of informative things, because we are a civil engineers. We are not so much interested in the water parameters and other things. Nowadays, that is also one of the main factor. And then we have to identify the things that we learn from you people. You, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any queries or suggestions?
Yeah, really, it's a very good interactive session. Especially, it helped me a lot. I have so many small queries on this. Actually, I am doing my PhD in this area, so that's why I raised so many questions.
Sure, sir. Like, if you need any help,
yeah, really, it is helpful, sir. The interaction section is very, very really interesting. So generally, FTP means that is a one way. People are speaking. Outside, other side, they are listening. So it is purely interactive session and a very nice session also. So more informative for us, especially for me. Thank you.
Sure.
Still, anyone? Anyone wants to tell us about few things about this today's session? And also we are providing in chat box today's feedback. Please go through it. So for getting a certificates and all, you have to give the feedback. So don't forget it.
Sir, sorry to interrupt this thing. Sir, can you please share that WhatsApp link for adding myself?
Hello?
Because maybe I'm not there in the WhatsApp group. So, and then today attendance sheets also, sir, please. Link.
Sure, sir. So, any... Yes, sir. I'm expecting some more people. Okay, sir.
Yeah. If, like, I know 5 more minutes, take 5 more minutes. No issue. Like, but please comment. I feel like maybe you're not used to asking questions, students asking you questions, but use this opportunity if you have any doubts or if you want to any further proposals Because I think a lot of you will be writing proposals, writing papers. If you need any help,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, if you get any
Actually,
ideas.
the session very give me a lot of information regarding my research areas and all. So I especially wants to be here to attend the sessions. I totally dedicated my time to attend this session. So mainly I'm focusing upon how this geospatial data I can use in my research. So till so far, I've gone through my academics. I just know about it is a limited to the laboratory and works. I feel like very headache by handling this geospatial data and all. So after attending the session, I came to know there is a lot of we can do. So how I can relate this geospatial data to my research work?
Sure. And one thing I want to show, like I guess this will be very beneficial to all of you.
Actually, there is a hands-on section also, as ma'am conveyed to me.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like,
so lack of time only.
Yeah. Otherwise, like I'll just try to share one second. So I understand, like we were supposed to do a like hands-on session on Earth Engine.
Yes, sir.
We planned a few codes and
definitely.
Already, but maybe in the future if you get another chance. But now,
definitely, sir.
Let's all of the faculty who are working in the water or hydrology sector, if you need data or if you just want to look at like what is the data, there is something that is know your landscape. So this is a website by a professor from IIT Delhi, Ram, and we work with him closely. So here you can, one thing is you can see data, or there is something on top you can see Explore Earth Engine app. So either click there. So it will take you to a Google Earth Engine app. So just a one-liner, I don't know how many of you used or what is your level of Google Earth Engine. So for those of you who have no idea of Google Earth Engine, imagine Google Earth Engine as Google's way of putting everything there. So if you don't have Google Earth Engine, what is the conventional way? You have to download from USGS the Sentinel data, install AirDAS, Imagine or ArcGIS, put the data, clip it, and then visualize it, do a lot of corrections. So data will be 3 GB like that. So you need a lot of internet resources. You need your own like RAM and everything needs to be good. So what Google did is no, like whatever data is freely available, they put it on their server and you can analyze there only. They give you a user graphic user interface. You can write code and visualize whatever analysis you are doing. And finally, if you just want, okay, this looks good, you can download that from that. So they use that. And here you have, can you see this? Land use, land for data. So they have all the data available. So 2006-7, you just click load. So it's like single cropping, double cropping, it just loads. So this is mostly visualization purpose, but they also have a download layer. If you go here, you can download and just go to this website. Okay, this is a very good website where you can play around. But this is more of if you want to get an idea about your research and all, this is a very good. So I just clear. Drainage labs, yeah. Look. So it might take some time, but roads and so maybe I will try to put all of this in a single page and try to send you the links, but it's loading, but because the data is very heavy, so it might take some time. But in your free time, please go to this website, click on the Google Earth Engine app. Here, come here, click on each individual layer. So basically, they are data layers.
Meeting.
So, sure. Anything else? Yeah. I guess we are getting some
Online.
Surya Prakash, can you unmute yours? I thought it's time for vote of thanks. So thank you, Sudeep Bana sir, for giving your precious time to us to enrich our knowledge through the geospatial data, how to gain the knowledge through the water quality and hydrology to maintain how this Google Earth Engine will works. So with as academicians, we have to gone through the proposals and papers under. This data may helpful for all of us to speed up our work under. So thank you for your section and giving your precious time for us. And I wish very happy to give me this opportunity for the event coordinators that are Nona Sai Priya ma'am, Nakiran sir, and Vishal Singh sir. So from this onwards, I conclude this session. Thank you for each and everyone, the participant, especially Shiva sir is continuously asking the questions, and it's the doubt may be minimal only, but getting clarity on these things. Hope you all get a good knowledge about this Google Earth Engine and hydrology parameters and what indicators, especially water quality indicators, how you are going to maintain the quality, and what are the specialty of indicators and all. Thank you each and everyone. Hope this session very helpful and enrich your knowledge. Thank you. Okay, sir. So don't forget to give feedback. So it will take attendance also. Okay, sir. Then you may. Thank you, sir. So participants, don't forget to give a feedback and attendance sheet also. So today the last session. So it is mandatory for getting a certificate. So each session you have to give a feedback as well as the attendance. Okay then. Thank you. Hope this session will enrich your knowledge through in the concept of water resource, hydrology and all. Thank you.
Sir, since this is the end of our FTP, now Vishal sir will be concluding the session, the entire
Okay.
FTP.
Okay then. So I'm hand over to Vishal sir. Sir, you can take sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Felix, sir. Thank you so much, Saifia ma'am. So, good afternoon, everyone. On the behalf of the Department of Civil Engineering, MITS, Deemed University, it is my privilege to deliver the closing remarks on our 5-day faculty development program on Advances in Intelligent Civil Engineering, AICE 2025. So, over the past 5 years, we have the honor of listening to many experts from India and abroad who shared the knowledge and insights on various topics ranging from AI and machine learning applications in civil engineering to yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Sir, yes,
Now
sir.
you're audible, sir.
Audible, sir.
Yes. So I was saying that over the past 5 days, we have listened to many expert speakers who has given their knowledge on many topics ranging from AI and machine learning to urban transport, electrification, hydrological modeling in SWAT, travel behavior modeling, structural health monitoring, water security indicators like today's session. So each session has enriched us with fresh perspective and shown us how civil engineering is rapidly transforming in the area of AI and innovation. So this FDP would not have been successful without the active participation of all the faculty members from various institutes across India. Your questions, discussions, and keen interest made this session very interactive and meaningful. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the distinguished resource persons for the valuable contribution. To thank you to all the organizing team and my fellow coordinators for the dedication, and to our management from the institute for the constant support in making this FDP possible. So, as we conclude today, I hope this knowledge gained here will inspire all of us to embrace innovation and apply the intelligent tools in our research and practice. So, and contribute meaningful to the growth of civil engineering and society at large. So, thank you once again to everyone for being the part of AIC 2025. Wishing you all a continued success in your academic and professional journeys. Thank you so much.